New from Radiance, number 79 on the range, is I Vampiri, a film by Riccardo Freda, a filmmaker who is making his second entry into the Radiance range, his first being the horrible Dr. Hitchcock. He did a bunch of other movies as well, including The Iguana with Tongue of Fire, and a bunch of other familiar movies that you may have heard of, seen in other boutique labels. This is a filmmaker that I really kind of enjoy, and this is the second time I've seen I Vampiri, the first being as a bonus extra on an old Arrow disc, and to see the completely different quality of work, because that was very rough. This looks pristine and really allows the gothic photography to really shine through here. Now, Riccardo Freda is working with Mario Bava as his DOP to help bring this thing to life, and there is a bit of a backstory of Freda not really finishing the movie and Bava having to take over to get it complete. A lot of that comes in the extras, particularly the Tim Lucas commentary, where he does a marvellous job, but we'll talk about that later on. So, I Vampiri, otherwise known as Lust of the Vampire, is set in Paris and follows a string of young girls who have been murdered. The journalist, who is our lead character, has coined the term the vampires as the group of people who are behind this, the group of people that are attacking these young women, draining of their blood and disposing of their bodies. Now, it's very much done as a true crime kind of thing. This is real people doing this, and it takes a while to settle into that, as in why are these people doing this, before it moves into a more kind of supernatural second half of the film. And I really kind of like that, because it really grounds the film in a reality at the start of it.
Esattamente come le altre, non ha nemmeno una goccia di sangue.
Eppure non abbiamo riscontrate ferite di alcun genere.
You know, giving us the characters that are going to be throughout the film, some who will come back, some who won't, and there's reasons as to why. But it really kind of grounds the story before slowly starting to become a little bit supernatural. And by the time it becomes that supernatural avenue, you're already bought into the film, and it leads into that kind of Italian Gothic that would become a mainstay through the 60s and 70s, and it's kind of started here in I Vampiri. And I kind of like a bunch of the characters here. In this one, you've got Gianna Maria Canali, who plays Margherita, and Gisele, kind of dual character in this one. This old matriarchal figure who seems to loom large over the town, and has a lot going on. She lives in one of those really spooky, twisted houses that have these secret passageways, and seems to be up no good.
Io riuscirò così a scoprire l'energia che genera la vita e a farla fluire negli esseri in eterno.
There is a story of a mad scientist that comes into this one as well. There is some interesting aspects about these people being kidnapped. It's a kind of funny film, as in, if you sit and strategically look at it, you can see seams as to where one creator has stopped and another one has inserted certain moments into it, because it has these two filmmakers really working at odds a little bit, with one grander story that had to almost give way midway throughout, and the other one to take in. But even though you can see these seams, it somewhat fits. It's not as jarring as I first remembered it to be, and it leads into these wonderful avenues and takes these twists and turns that I couldn't see coming, because I think one of the filmmakers genuinely couldn't see them coming at the time. It's this photography, it's the art design in this one, it is the way they really structure their shots, using all the tricks to make this feel like we are in Paris when we are most definitely not. But the use of matte paintings or pictures stuck to glass to create different things, it's just wonderfully effective. And that's before you get to the makeup transformations later on. There's this wonderful effect, and it's explained how it's done on the commentary, which I really like. And it's all in camera, and it's one person turning from old to young or young to old, and it's just so incredibly effective. And because it's being done in front of you, and because it's from a time where they didn't have all the fancy gadgets they've got now, it just feels all that more impressive. And this film is just genuinely impressive, considering what they did, considering they shot the film in 12 days, considering they changed directors and still managed to cobble together a really cohesive story with only a few holes within it, with some great actors, great performances, and a wonderful sense of mood and atmosphere. I like I Vampiri. It's one of those ones where the story's good. It could have been great. It just never had the push to get there. It's wonderfully effective, and it's a lot to do with the filmmaking in this one that just shines for me, and the transfer just makes it pop. Let's dive into the extras and see what there is. Here we are in disc for I Vampiri. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have Lust of the Vampire, the British version of the film with English audio, newly transferred from archival materials, which is 66 minutes. We have The Devil's Commandment, which is the 1960 US cut of the film, presented here in full, which removes several plot elements while adding more exploitation scenes. Next, we have an audio commentary by Tim Lucas, where he does a wonderful job of trying to discern which filmmaker made what sequences and what was removed, what was added, as well as lots of information about the actors and the sets and some of the special effects. And as he says at the end of this one, this is his 150th commentary. Next, we have Bloodthirst, a 2013 documentary on the making of I Vampiri, featuring film historian Fabio Melelli and archival footage of Mario Bava, Dario Michaelis, filmed in Italy by Federico Cadeo. And this is 17 minutes, 17 seconds, and how this film is considered the first horror film, or definitely the one that kind of kick-started the genre in the late 50s. It talks about the two directors and how they managed to recreate Paris in the film through some wonderful special effects. Next, we have Lamberto Bava, which is a 2022 interview where he discusses his father's legendary work and the film. And this was filmed in Italy by Federico Cadeo, and this is 40 minutes, 44 seconds. And he talks about how Freda and Bava were really good friends. They enjoyed working together. They talk about how the kind of process went with the filmmaking, and he adds in quite a few anecdotes as well throughout his tales. Next, we have Leon Hunt, which is a newly filmed interview, and he is the author of Mario Bava, the artisan as Italian horror auteur, and he discusses I Vampiri and its place in film history. Filmed exclusively for Radiance in 2024. This is 20 minutes, 55 seconds, and he talks about horror at this time, with some elements of the rest of the world, but mainly in Italy, and the kind of vampiric films that came after this. He also talks a lot about Bava's versatility, and particularly some of the films he worked on his lead up to his directorial debut with Black Sunday. Also included in the set is a 20-page booklet with one essay, which is Do You Believe in Vampires by Roberto Curti, written in 2024. And here he talks all about the production of this film and makes some educated guesses as to what exactly went on. And that's the extras for I Vampiri. There we have it. I Vampiri is out now. I thoroughly suggest picking it up. It kind of fits in with the Freda films, it fits in with the Bava films, his first foray into horror, which is just terrific. And it's one of those ones that I'll go back and watch often because it's such an easy and quick watch. Yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on the I Vampiri. Let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always, in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.